Hola guys. I'm eating my lunch with you and then I gotta go. Can you see it? Can you see it? I have wings, some sour cream, 2 hot sauces in there. Let's see. Can you see it? And some ranch and some carrots. I was gonna do some radishes, but I'm like, let me push this back. And I'm sitting on my floor. So, Father, thank you for this evening. Thank you for my blessings. Amen. All right. Bon appetit. And on top of it, they're peppered flavor. And I put spices on them. Yes, I did. There's no pretty way of eating these. Just a whole lot of eating. So what is everybody else eating for lunch today? These cook like 20 minutes in my air fryer. Of course, iced coffee. I'm like, I asked the guy for all flats. I laughed so hard today. I was looking on TikTok and somebody was wearing, in a field, was wearing Target's clothes with a bonnet on. I don't know if you've been to Target or you have a Target near you. Their clothes look like literally Little House on the Prairie. It's so weird. Anyway, the lady who put it on and she was running, like acting, the Little House on the Prairie music was in the back. It was funny. I see a lot of stuff on TikTok that's funny, but I think by far that was the funniest. It's how she did it. She rolled down the hill and everything. You guys want to come closer? Come closer. Uh-oh. Hold on. There we go. Today's just about eating. I guess I could say a story time. Oh, ow. I feel like I tell you guys the same ones. Yum. Mm. All right, that's the second one. That's a good one that I haven't said. Sorry. Picking it out my teeth and eating it. Just mix this up. I'll tell you a story. How pranks can go bad. I think I was 16, 17. I was talking to my friend. And then we were like, let's prank them. This is when you had landline. I'm like, wow. What? I got it. She just started seeing this dude. She wanted to scare the shit out of him. So we came up with the idea that I'll call her and tell her someone's in my house, that they need to come over and help me. That I'm afraid. So she goes, once we get there, she goes, hide in the closet and then jump out and scare the shit out of them. Like, leave your door open, leave all the lights off, jump in the closet. Well, that's what I did. I did that. Had all the lights off. Was scaring myself. Power of suggestion. They show up. I jump in the closet. Mother effer showed up with a gun. So as soon as I get in, the guy's like, you stay out here. I'll go and check it out. She's like, oh shit. And at first she let him go in. Like she didn't want to say it was a joke. Rick? Surprise! Pow! I died. So she let him go in. I can hear him walking around because we had like wooden floors. Thank God she ended up saying something. Because I didn't jump out. But literally, he was a thug. He was going to straight. Didn't care. I'll go and shoot him. So she had to yell out, it's a joke! It's a joke! Or he could have shot me. So yeah. And before that I had a mad crush on this boy named Peter. I was best friend with his sister. Best friends with his sister, and I went over there. She ended up ditching me, leaving me with her little brother and sister, and then the brother I had a crush on. So I told the brother and sister, let's play a prank on him. I never laughed so hard in my freaking life. I gotta go upstairs, get a pair of your dad's shoes. Put them upstairs. Because when you walk up the stairs, you can look to the right and the left. I said, and the parents' room was this way, so put some shoes just peeking out the door. Just the very tip of them. So, he did. We started making noises. And Peter was older than us. I was smitten. Why I never laughed so hard. It was so funny. The sister started making noise, shut the lights off. He started thinking, well, man, maybe there's something going on here. He walked up the stairs. He looks and sees the frickin' shoes. Like he like his eyes had to like focus in on it. Not only did he run out of his slippers, left us all there, fend for himself. He ran down the street and ran out of his socks. Oh. Literally. His socks were like 6 feet apart. He ran his ass. Right out of him. Yeah, but be careful. A prank can go bad. I literally could have shot that day. Oh. Might have said this one too. I don't know. Same house. That same friend. We went to Oceanside. It's where a lot of the Marines hang out. she wanted to hang out with this guy. And I was like, cool. I'm like, I'm not hooking up. I'm not hooking up with anyone. I'll go with you. We'll go have some fun, but I ain't hooking up with them. So we go hang out with these guys. Both nice boys. Military. I ended up like thinking the guy was really cute. I was 16, 17. Around the same time. So I was kind of smitten over him. And so we exchanged numbers. And he called me. He called me the next day. So I was so excited, telling my mom how excited I was. Talked for hours, like all day. Like I think I fell asleep that night with the phone in my hand. Again, no cell phones back then. You're up against a wall. So I'm like by the kitchen table under it, you know, talking. Honestly, I think we fell asleep on the phone together. So about 2 days later of talking to him, he goes, you know, I really want to see you again. Can you come out this weekend? And I was like, well, you know, I can try to make that happen. See if, you know, my friend, if Marla wants to come down. And he goes, I don't know if he, because I actually said her name. So I don't even know if he realized I said that. But he goes, I really missed your blonde hair. I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, I want to smell your blonde hair, and I miss your blonde hair. And I'm like, this sucks. Because I knew right then he thought I was Marlo. I don't know about the other guy she met up with, but this guy, I was thinking, what the hell? It ended up being the guy she was seeing. Got names mixed up. No, I don't even know. Yeah, I was heartbroken. Then there's this kid that really liked me. There's another one more story time. This kid, his name was Eric, and he really liked me. I ended up liking him sort of, and this is messed up, but you're young and you're stupid. I was hanging out with him for days, and how I ended up meeting him, my mom was going to Al-Anon meetings. No, she was going to meetings, which I was going to like Al-Anon meetings. And in there, you know, young kids would go and you could talk and everything. That's how that all happened. Eric wasn't my type, but he was adorable. So, you know, I was like, okay, I'll give him a shot. Not like that, but just like, I'll just give him a shot. We ended up just becoming good friends, and he really liked me. And then all of a sudden, I look up, and this guy walks through the door. You know, I was like, my hair was blowing. That's how I felt. I was like, oh, I can't breathe. So you're like adjusting yourself, you're doing your hair, which I already do, but I was doing that extra, like, oh God, I need to go to the bathroom, put some powder on. I'm like, Lord, this man's beautiful. Well, he wasn't a man, he was a boy. And back then he had like, he showed up in a truck, and I was like, a truck. And I was like, this man's beautiful. And his name was Jason. And I fell in love with him 1,000%. And the first time I saw that beautiful face walk through that door. So I just couldn't help myself. I'm like, you know, Eric, this guy's beautiful. Which I kind of did him dirty, but that's another story. And I'll tell you, I didn't mean to, but I was trying to get out of a bad situation. I ended up talking to Jason. Like, we ended up hitting it off and talking. I ended up finding out he worked at Pizza Hut, which was literally 5 houses away from my dad's house. Like that, like literally that close. And I got his phone number. Oh my God, he's he looked like Matt Dillon. Like, I was like, oh. And so, that Friday, he told us, hey, you guys come to Pizza Hut, and we're having a little party after work. We're gonna lock the doors, and we're having like just a couple people come in and shut the lights off and hang out. So he invited me, and I was an awkward, very awkward teen. Like, very awkward, very insecure, and I went, and this beautiful man, he locks the doors. We all went to the back. We ended up talking more. And I remember vividly, I was like, I have to go to the liquor store really quick and buy some Big Red gum, because my breath is going to be smelling beautiful. Beautiful. Every time I walk by this man. Boy. So, he asked me if I wanted some pizza, and I was like, no, thank you. He goes, you want some beer? You know, we take beer out of the, I'm like, no, I don't drink. He's like, really? And I'm like, yeah, I don't drink. He goes, well, that's good. Like, that really impressed him for some reason. And he ended up like having his arm like this, like on the wall, and I'm like right here with my big red breath, and I'm like, yeah, because, you know, I need that. I wanted him to smell this big red. I don't know what I was thinking, but that's what I was thinking. And he had his arm up, and he's looking at me, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't, I'm gonna die right now. And he came in and kissed me, and I was like, gum in my mouth still. It was amazing. I fell in love with this guy. Literally fell in love with him. He ended up, like, this had to be like in November, because December, he bought me so cute. He bought me a Christmas present, and it was really heavy in this box, and I opened it up, and I pulled it out, and it was a sweater, but I was thinking, I don't want to look back in the box and make him think I'm looking for something heavier or something more in there. And I remember being perplexed, like, I'm not going to go back in that box. And I was like, well, that's going to be rude if I don't. And I should have went with my first instinct, because he put a brick in it, like a big brick in there for some reason. I don't know why. And I was like, oh, this is beautiful. Hated that freaking sweater. It was freaking ugly, and I knew I had to wear it. And I'm telling him how beautiful it is. It was freaking. Have you ever seen Friday the 13th? And the sweater the mother wore? Like the big wool one? It's freaking gross. But it was a gift, so I'm not rude. So I'm like, oh, that's beautiful. I'll wear it. Putting that hot shit on. Well, anyways, ended up, he thought he had mono. So I was like, dude, snuck me back into his house that night, and I fell asleep. We were supposed to sneak out early morning, and the mom found us. Didn't do anything. He was a gentleman. He didn't have mono, but he thought he had mono. And so he didn't kiss me. He did kiss me that first time, but he didn't kiss me. He let me sleep on the bed, and he slept on the floor, and the mother walked in, caught us doing nothing. But he got in such big trouble, got his truck taken away. Not for long, though. But yeah, we ended up started dating. He ended up getting an apartment. And speaking of the slumber party video I was telling you guys about, I explained how he was a douchebag. Not at first. Gentleman, very respectful. We always went out to like the movies. He always took me out to lunch. He would always find time to hang out. If I was upset, he would drive all the way over there to see if I was okay. But ended up leaving me for a girl named Fawn. He's the one who took my V card. No, I was 18, because that's when I lost. So it was because I was 17 when I met him, and I turned 17 the end of November, and we had dated for a while, and he ended up leaving me for a really young girl named Fawn. They're divorced now. I win. And then right after that, I ended up getting with well, he wasn't a bad boy. He just ended up being a douchebag. And I was very good to him. Like, he would come home, and maybe it was me. But I ended up making sure everything was clean. His laundry was clean. The house was clean. He had dinner ready because he worked all day. But he ended up changing Pizza Huts to about 30 minutes away to another Pizza Hut, managing one over there. And that's where he met Fawn. Yeah. That wasn't good times. Anyways, I ended up meeting right after that my kids' father. That was a freaking... Jason was like a pope compared to my kids' father. Oh my God, that was a nightmare. Fucker cheating on me all the time. Again, house clean, cooking, cleaning. If I fell in love with Jason, I really fell in love with this guy. Beautiful. Absolutely. He looked like Leif Garrett, John Travolta, Matt Dillon, all of them morphed into one beautiful face. I don't know. It was a face. And he was like, he just flew in from Michigan. And I saw him walking down the street. And I just got off of work. And I was with my friend. And I told her, pull over. She goes, I'm not letting them in my car. Her name was Mary. She goes, I'm not letting them in my car because it was him and a guy. I'm like, please just pull over. So I was like, back in the day, you're like, ow! I don't know what I was doing. I was prude as hell. Ended up pulling over. And I was like, hi. And he was like, hi. He goes, well, where are you guys going? And he's like, we're walking to the bowling alley. And she's like, I'm not giving a ride. I'm not giving a ride. And I go, okay, well, maybe we'll see you down there later. And we turned back around. She went the opposite way. I'm like, what are you doing? She goes, I'm not. They're not coming in my car. Hold on, I need to sit up. Hold on. Okay, much better. Always having to tell story time, and then I go on this long story times. So anyways, she's like, it's not happening. He's not getting in my car. I'm like, fine. But let's hang out with him at the bowling alley. And she's like, well, let's go out, because it was one stretch of road in the town we lived in that was like happening. So you can get from everywhere from this one street. So she's like, let's go all the way down to the other end, and then we'll turn around. If we see them, we'll hang out with them. So she was like stalling, wanting to not hang out with them. But I knew which direction they were going, and I knew where he said they were going. So we start driving back that way. Couldn't see him. I'm like, literally, this came out my mouth. I could have had his babies. I can't see him anymore. I was joking when I had said that. And we ended up seeing them. Ended up hanging out. She did not want them in her car. So I was like, my dad's in Laughlin. I don't know where I was thinking. I was too trusting. I go, my dad's in Laughlin. We can go hang out there. You guys want to hang out? I was like, this would just drive them to there, and then you don't have to do anything. They can take a cab. And she was like, okay. So we got in my car, or in her car, and she was very nervous. And we went to my dad's house, and she left me with these two guys. They could have killed me. But I ended up trusting him for some reason a lot. Like, I was showing him photo albums. Finally, I got to like 2 a.m. I kind of figured out, like, oh God, they're like wide awake. Like, are they on something? And I'm like, well, maybe this is a mistake. But I'm like, no, maybe they're, He just came in, flew in, maybe time change, whatever. I trusted them. So I was like, you guys, I am tired. I'm going to go to bed. I guess that really impressed him, because nobody ever trusted him, because I didn't know what he was about at all. So he respected that. Like, he's like, she trusts me that much. Like, I could rip her off. I could rape her, kill her. We could do anything we want. And he says, he always told me that's never happened. So I took that, like, he goes, I took that as like, I respected you for that. Like, I was not going to disrespect you because you had trusted me so much, and that's never happened, which could have been a bunch of bullshit. Anyways, I remember being in the dark room, and the door was kind of like cracked, and I kept kind of looking at them. Like, I could see them in the living room from that crack, till I finally fell asleep. And then I get woken up probably around 6 o'clock in the morning, and he's like, hey. And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, we have to go. And I'm like, okay. All right. He goes, but let me get your phone number. So I gave him my phone number. I lived with my mom, but my mom and dad lived in the same town. Well, 2 towns over. 1 town over. And so I was all excited. He wanted my phone number. So a couple days go by, didn't hear anything. And I started thinking, that was a joke. He was beautiful. And I kept getting like the phone would ring and I'd run and answer it. Hello? Hello? Nothing. Hang up. And I ended up giving him no, I didn't. Okay, let me okay. So the phone ringing and hanging up happened about 6 times. I'm like, freaking prankers, knock it off. Because every time the phone rang, I thought it was him. By the way, it was him. He forgot my name. So he was so embarrassed and just kept hanging up, he said. Well, anyways, one of the times his friend said, hey, it's Joe. And by the way, me and Joe are like this. He's like my brother. Love Joe. He's the one who gave me my first car, which had a wooden bumper. Yeah, another story. I think I told that too. I think I told that too, because I think I did. So he came over and we sat on the porch and he's like, I've been calling you from gate 1. And I'm like, oh, really? And he's like, yeah, I've been calling you. He goes, I just forgot your name. I'm so embarrassed. And I kept hanging up the phone. And I truly believe he did care about me. But being as beautiful as that was on him, girls flocked to him. I'm telling you, they just flocked because he was that beautiful. And he had the beautiful crystal water blue eyes. It's just like, oh. So everything took off pretty quick. I mean, I think I moved in with him like a week later. Him and Joe got a trailer and I ended up moving in. And then he started drinking and it got crazy. I don't drink. I don't use. So all that was like, I mean, I was raised around all that. So I kind of was like, oh, I need to go back to some Al-Anon classes because I wanted to fix him. You know how that goes. So that ended up becoming a huge, big shit show. And I'm sitting in the living room looking out and girls pull up and they see me and then leave. And I'm like, yeah, it was just bad. I ended up getting pregnant. Like 19, I got pregnant. And November, I turned 20. And it was a whole year of I don't know, it was like a year and a half of just some shit. I crawl out windows. Oh, it's going to stop. Anyways, yeah, I had 2 children by him and he ended up doing 18 years in prison. He's with someone, he got out and thank God. I wish him well. But I got my girls and that's no. And you know what? You got to kiss plenty of frogs before you get your prince. And I got the man of my dreams in my life. I win. I win. I have a man that treats me with respect, loves me, at all cost will lay out his jacket for me over a puddle. I'm not even kidding. That's legit my husband. So, yeah. And now you know how many guys I've been with. I mean, I've dated other guys. You know Peter, the one Rewind? He ended up passing away. He ended up becoming a, what do you call it? What do you call that? A cross-dresser. Beautiful. Like he made a beautiful woman. But he ended up passing away. God bless him. And we had lots of good times. I'll never forget him running out of his socks. And then Jason, we did have some good times. I forgot to tell you, he made really recent, after we got together, he made a thing for the back of his license plate that said Jason and Tawny forever. And then when I found out he was cheating on me with Fawn, I went over there and I saw him kissing like Sissy and Bud from Urban Cowboy. And then I looked down because I'm behind them with my friend and he ripped off my name. Fucker. I win. He got a divorce. And I've seen some pictures of him. He got old. He's gray. I win. So anyways, this is going to shut off, guys. I might have already have. I don't know. It shows it's still going. But I really got to get going. Love you guys. Toodle noodles. Hasta pasta. Later, gator. If you learn anything from this, be careful with pranking people. Always look for the red signs when you first meet a guy. Yeah. Back up a little bit. Have to have a beautiful face. Wait a while. And you'll see true colors come out. But anyways, all right, love you guys. Toodles. Hasta pasta. Later, gator. Bye, guys.